This week's lecture is about focusing your audience attention. So, the reason why you want to focus your audience attention is to help your brain or your audience's brain process the information. So, we have the item. The item goes through our eye and into our brain, and it's processed. And we want to make it as easy and as streamlined as possible. We want to draw the eye to um, the information we want them to see. So, before we get into the lesson, we're going to briefly talk about memory. There are three different types of memory. Iconic memory processes unimportant information without realizing it. It's pre-attentive, and so it's information that stays for only a fraction of a second before it moves to short-term memory, if it moves to short-term memory at all. So short-term memory is, uh, well, it's short-term, but it processes about four chunks of visual information at a time. The more visual stimuli requires more attention and more work for each person. So this is where clutter comes into play for memory. The more cluttered a thing is your brain has a hard time memorizing certain key points of information. So you want to keep it simple. You want to keep it um, not cluttered and as free flowing as possible. And so long-term memory is, it's your memory built up over your lifetime. Um, Once it goes from iconic memory, it goes into short term, then from short term, and then it'll move into long term. But long-term memory is important for recognizing patterns. This is how you're able to see when things match up or when they don't. So, for pre-attentive attributes, it signals where to look. This can be the shape of things, the color, size, position. So, when we look at this one, nothing stands out. You might see, oh, there's three O's in a row, or oh, the A's, I could see them really well, but nothing really stands out. However, if you go over to this side by simply changing the color from gray to black, oh, we see that there's one, two, three, four, five, six A's. We see them really well, and our attention is drawn to them while everything else is kind of in the background. And our brain processes this type of information instantly and unconsciously. And this allows us to quickly perceive patterns and the relationships in our data or in our visuals. So there are different types of pre-attentive attributes. There's orientation, shape, length, width, additional marks, enclosures, hue, intensity, spatial location, size, curvature, and motion. So when you look at in text, these are some examples. So we have color. Um, then we have it where the same words are bolded or in italics or a larger size or spaced out far. We have it enclosed, and then we have it underlined. And in each of these, your mind is drawn to brown fox, brown fox, brown fox. So, which is the um, important part of the sentence. So with pre-attentive attributes, how it relates to graphs, you can use all these same things. So in this first one, you can see color was used. Then there is two different colors, ones that are above average and ones that are below average. In the second one, color is also second and third one, color is also used. So you have items 1 and 2 make up 30% of our available products. Your eyes are automatically drawn to items 1 and 2. Your eye is automatically drawn to the red line. Your eye is automatically drawn to the um, orange dots. And then as you further read the chart, you can say, oh, these are above average. And this allows you to go and investigate them, or it draws your audience's eye to the information that is important, and allows you to ask questions like, why is why does it cost more to drive shorter miles than it does longer miles? Why does some of these miles are do they cost more than others? And that way you can start your investigation and be able to answer any of those type of questions that your audience may ask you. So size plays a major role in how your audience perceives your data. You want your most important information to be the biggest size. But if your information is equally as important, you want them to be the same size, because if you have one that's larger than the other, then it makes it seem that the larger size is more important than the smaller size. So it all depends on how your um, your audience perceives the information and how big or small you make it. Color also um, is very helpful. As I've shown you in multiple examples, it can be used to draw your audience eye, but you want to use your color sparingly. You want to keep it all consistent. Um, You want to keep colorblind individuals in mind, not me. I just noticed that typo, and I will fix it for your copies of the PowerPoint. And then what tone does the color convey? You know, when you think of red, you think of a warning to stop, not go, danger. When you think of green, you think of go or safe. And so you want to make sure you use the correct color to convey the correct tone. And then use brand colors. If you are making something for your work, use your work's brand colors, or your organization's brand colors, and leverage them. You don't want to overdo the using the colors. And then don't ever underestimate black. Black is a great color to use. And and if you have things that are gray, black stands out really well. And also use complementary colors, and, this allows you to be able to it gives you a little bit more color choice than using like 1 or 2 colors. So position on a page is really, really important. In the United States, we read left to right, then down than right. So it's a zigzag. If you are in another country, it's important to know how they read. That way you can set up your visualizations, your presentations, reflecting that. So your most important information needs to be at the top of the page. This is going to be like your hypothesis or your survey findings. And then you go down and you want to make it feel natural, you want to make it flow right. But then you go down and you can discuss if, for example, your survey, you can say, survey found that 90% of people enjoy um, gardening. I don't know if that's true or not. It's just something I have made up. So then you can go down and say, well, um, what type of gardening do they like? Is it specific to vegetables? Is it specific to flowers? And then you can make an entire infographic about that information. And so you just want to make it feel natural and let it flow. And April Miller is going to talk a lot about color and how things are positioned on a page. So you want to make sure that you watched those videos or rewatch them if you need a refresher.